Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm sure that there's a few stragglers still trying to find their way into the room. But for those of you that are here, thank you so much for being here. We have a lot to cover today. Hi, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing actually really well, thank you. I'm really excited about today. I've been working hard and putting it all together, and I'm feeling pretty confident about everything. So that's awesome. I see Charlotte's driving. So Charlotte, I won't bother you while you're driving. I'll just we'll talk to you whenever you're pulled over and safe, or when you get to where you're going. I'm not going to call on you for anything while you're driving because I would never want to be any distraction for you when you're in your vehicle. So thank you so much for being here. Brandon, can you tell me, do you mind sharing a little bit about what area you're in and what your niche is?
Sure. Atlanta, Georgia. And basically, I focus on mostly commercial cleanings, stuff like daycares and stuff, accounts that's 5-day accounts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those 5 day accounts are the ones that are really they're the payoff, hey? Like if you can get those 5 day accounts, then you're set and on your way. I also like to get a lot of one weekly accounts, sorry. I like to get a lot of weekly accounts because weekly accounts are nice because if you happen to when you're first getting going, if you happen to have somebody call in sick one day, you could very easily just move it forward or back one day, and the clients are usually okay with that. So weekly accounts are nothing to sneeze at in the beginning because they do offer you a little bit flexibility. Yeah. So, how many accounts do you have so far?
None.
None. You're just getting started. That's amazing. You're a great candidate for our foundations program giveaway, then. It's perfect for you. The foundations program giveaway, for those of you that are in the room, and some will come later. It is a giveaway that we're going to announce on the last day, and it is for any of you who have managed to be here for every single workshop. The reason that you must be here for every single workshop is quite simple. When you give away free stuff, people don't tend to utilize it the way they would if they paid for it. So basically, you get what you pay for, or in my case, I get the commitment according to what my clients have paid. It is the normal thing, if you think about it, how many times have you signed up for a free workshop and thought, well, if I can fit it into my schedule, well, if I get there, I get there. No big deal. I didn't pay anything. Look at Josh. I think he's actually at work and here in the workshop. So you must be, because that's a commercial hood I see above your head there, Josh. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's amazing when you find a way to be here for this workshop. It shows me how committed you are. So back to what I was saying, people who pay for things and commit to things are more likely to do the work later. And, the product that we have inside of the Foundations program, the Master Plan, and the Freedom program is unbelievable. The value is unbelievable compared to the cost. So I'm not just about to give it away to anybody. I want to see your commitment. So you're already on the right track there, Brandon, by being here today. Sounds like you are actually a really great candidate. And I'll let you know, I'm not picking anybody on day 5. If you've been here for 5 days, you will get that program free of charge. So, you're not in the running for something free. If you manage to get here to all 5 virtual pre-launch days in person, I'm giving it to you for free because I think if you're willing to give me that time, I'm willing to give something back. So I see people are still coming in the room, which is very exciting. I think that we will actually just give another, let's see, it's 5 after 5. So I'm going to give it another 5 minutes in order for us to make sure we've got the bulk of everybody in the room before I go through the motions here. There's somebody on my screen, a man with black glasses. And apparently your name is iPhone 67. It's not Josh. It's beside Josh. Here, let me help you unmute and I'll see if I can get your name from you. I think I recognize you, but I just can't place you. I do only deal with about 6,000 cleaning business owners a week. So I hope that you can forgive me. I see that you're struggling to unmute yourself. That's all right. Maybe you could put in the chat what your name is. Let me see. I'm going to make my dear friend Nolan here. I'm going to I'm going to give you some power here, Nolan, so that you can help out some of our participants there you are, your co-host now. maybe you could help out the participants who are not sure how to unmute, and also maybe show them, through the chat. You could maybe help them change the name. Michael, thanks, Michael. Very nice to have you. Nice, good job. You've done it. You are now you're going to have success beyond compare because you have figured out how to rename yourself on Zoom. I mean, this is really complicated. And for me, it took me months. I'm not even kidding. I started Zoom when I was 2 days before my whole life just crushed down on me. I'm going to tell you guys about my story in a few minutes, and I'll tell you the story of Zoom and how I found out about Zoom 2 days before my whole life crumbled down, and Zoom is the reason I am here today with you. It is like the most amazing story that I have to offer, and I'm sure that some of you will be able to relate. Oh, I see we have Christine and Sarah in the room. Sarah is just this morning got in on our case study for our book. So freaking amazing, Sarah. Congratulations. Oh, I'm so excited about the book. So, I'll take an extra 2 minutes here. First of all, if anybody would like to unmute yourself and share where you're from and what your niche is, I'd really love that. Brandon shared earlier that he's got no clients yet, but he's getting into cleaning. He's looking for commercial cleaning. He's hoping to get the 5-day-a-week contracts, which is awesome because that brings some really amazing revenues. I do want to share that one of our clients in the Freedom Program recently got 1-day-a-week contract that's paying him for $4,500 a month. So you don't have to work 5 days a week to make the money. Hi, Sarah. I see that you're on the video now.
Hi.
Hi. Would you like to share with everybody in the room where you're from and what your niche is?
What is my niche? I'm Sarah. I'm from Osoyoos, BC in Canada. And what is my niche? It's a little all over the place right now. Today I was at the local ski hill doing 2 consults on 2 properties there to property manage and clean their rentals for the winter. Yes.
Congratulations.
Not 2 consults, actually. I just met them. I have them already.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you just met the owners, but you've already got it. So no stress there. It's just a meet and greet.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Is that going to keep you going through the winter? Is that for some winter work for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. What I know about Sarah is that where she lives, her work is quite seasonal right now, until you can get a few more commercial contracts going. And so those seasonal vacation rentals help you get through.
Yeah.
And what the people in the room don't know is that you live on the mountain, Mount Baldy there.
We actually moved down this summer. Yeah.
That's going to make facilitating your business a little easier.
It has already. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, where you are in the world really does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you get to the point where you don't have to be anywhere specific, and then that's beautiful too. But when you're first growing your business, you really got to be there and filling in the kind of blank or the what do you say? Filling in the holes, the gaps, filling in the gaps. Maybe this isn't a good day. Maybe I'm going to do terrible in this workshop today. I don't know. My brain wants to be what it is today. So I would love to get started. I don't want to bore you guys anymore. Anybody else who comes, we'll let them in as they come. As you know, cleaning business owners are busy. That's why we're here on the weekend and on the evenings to try and catch you guys in a time that you might be able to come. But understood, if you're going to be a little bit late, that's fine. Just come because you're going to get so much value. Now, can everybody see my screen right now? Are you able to see the slideshow? Can I get thumbs up or clapping hands, whatever emoji you like to use? Thumbs up, no one can see it. Awesome. If there's anybody that can't see it, right on, Michael can see it. Let me know so I can help you. Charlotte, I'm so glad to see you here. Charlotte has been working so diligently to make sure that she had all the information she needed to get into this meeting, and you're here, and I'm so glad to see it. All right, guys, let's dive into this. We have so much going on that sorry, Nolan's just asking me for permissions here. I want to give it to him because that way he can help me. I'm never going to turn down an extra hand. Let me just let you know that Nolan is honestly, he's one of the best kept secrets that we have in our program. Nolan is, he is primarily our sales manager here at Kedziora Business Growth. But really, honestly, what Nolan has is this extreme talent for online digital marketing. And he has a coaching call in our program every Thursday at, I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. No,
It's
that
9
wouldn't be
a.m.
right.
PST, Carrie. So I think it's 11 standard. Yeah, 12 Eastern.
So that happens every Thursday, and it's like my favorite call. I can't get there nearly enough, but I like to watch the recordings after. So yeah. So if you guys have digital marketing needs, feel free to send them a chat in the chat. But try not to forget that we've got some learning going on here as well. So try not to get so absorbed in thinking about what Nolan's got that you miss out on this, okay? I want this to be the focus because these are the foundational skills that you're going to be looking for. Nolan is very advanced in his marketing, and you may get lost. You may go down a rabbit hole, and I might not get you back. Nolan, don't steal my audience. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. I am looking for feedback. I'm looking for questions. If you could put your questions in the chat, I'll pause to answer questions spontaneously. Yes, spontaneously. The idea here is to consume a lot of material. So please put your questions in the chat, and I will, take a few moments here and there to catch up on the questions. And Peter is asking the CEO growth consultants in the room to please rename yourself. And I think, Peter, it's you and Nolan, I think are the only.
Me and Nolan are done. There's two other ones.
Well, thank you for whoever's in the room as a CEO growth consultant. Please do rename yourself so we know who you are. Let's get started. So let's start with the introductions. Today we're talking about building a high-performing team. What we did was we looked through the notes on the chapters that everybody requested, and this was the number one most requested chapter. So we're doing this one first. It's not that employees are the only focus or the most important focus. I think that if you were to make sure that every different system is running 100% smoothly, you have no problems. And then you'll find out later that I'll tell you that if you have no problems, I want you to create problems. But I'll talk to you about that a little later on. I'm Carrie-Ann Kedziora. I'll try to give you a very brief background because we want to learn more than we want to delve too deep. But I wanted to let you know that I've been in the industry. I had been in the industry as a solo cleaner for 25 years. Back in my 20s, I worked with my ex-husband's mother in her cleaning business. She was absolutely the most, she was, how do I say it? She was the most intelligent businesswoman I've ever met. To this day, and I have met some intelligent businesswomen. She had a grade 5 education, still to me is the smartest woman I ever met. She knew how to create systems and processes. She knew how to keep her finances together. She grew this amazing residential and commercial cleaning business that was a force to be reckoned with. And she was teaching me everything that she knew so that I could take over her business in order for her to retire. And so this is where I learned a lot of my foundational skills in systems and processes. The thing about my mother-in-law from 20 some years ago was that more than 20 some years ago, wow. It was that she didn't believe in hiring employees. So she was stunted, and now she's getting on to be 80 and she's still working. She's still cleaning. I feel so sad whenever I get the opportunity to see her because she shouldn't be still working at 80. She just shouldn't be doing that. I mean, that's just craziness. All because she refused to hire employees because she was too afraid. She would never admit that she's too afraid. In a room, if you're talking with her, she would say this was her own choice. But let's be real. If it was her own choice and she had the money to be able to afford it, she would not be working, right? She doesn't have a wealth. She doesn't have a legacy. She has a cleaning business that gets her through. And when there comes a time that she can't work anymore, I do worry about her. So Employees is very important. You know, if you'll get a chance to read my book coming up, I have a series of 3 books coming up that tell my life story. My life story is a pretty interesting story. It has to do with childhood trauma leading into alcoholism. And for 27 years, I was an alcoholic. So I did not have the strength, the courage, or the ability to start my own business. So for 25 years, I worked as a solo cleaner, undercharging and over-serving everybody that I met. I used that money to help support my 2 children. I was a single mom with 2 children, and I was a functioning alcoholic, so don't worry. But that extra money that I got from cleaning helped me to support my kids and support my habit. When I finally quit drinking was when I found the courage to have my own cleaning business, when I realized that I had so much more to offer than what I had allowing myself to offer to the world. And so I started my residential cleaning business, and I was a success, immediately a success. In our first year, it was really a small thing. I hoped to make $30,000 in income. I was thinking that if I got to $30,000 in revenue, I could hire an employee and then maybe, keep 10,000 for myself, because I didn't know anything about pricing for profit back then. And what happened was, within the first year, we made $140,000 in revenues. By the second year, we were up to $240,000 in revenues, and we had around 21 part-time casual and 1 full-time employee. And then COVID hit. I found out on March 11th via my very first ever Zoom call that we were no longer allowed to go into residences to clean. I was 98% residential cleaning. I had 1 grocery store. So I lost 98% of my revenues. I lost 20 of 21 employees. And I actually lost my home, which is an interesting story about how that happened. But that's too long to talk about now. Just know that I did lose my home. My husband and I were homeless for 3 months while we were trying to figure out how we were going to pay these bills that we couldn't afford from our cleaning business, with no income and no ability to move forward. At this point, we had no ability to even wash our rags. We had no electricity. We had no running water. It was a pretty interesting situation. But it is the reason that I am here in front of you now. Right back to that story about, now let's fast forward to, we lost everything. What I realized was that I did not want to go back to work. I was very successful in the health industry. I loved my work in healthcare. I could go back to that easily because they were calling for people. I was a little bit afraid of COVID, but they were calling for people, and I knew I could work 16 hours a day and make some good money. They were paying like huge bonuses to people to go back to the healthcare. And I thought about it for a split second. I talked to my husband about it, and he said, "Do you want to do that? Like, do you want to go back to work?" And I said, "No. If I go back to work, I will never leave. I will be stuck there for the rest of my life. I want to find a way to make my cleaning business work," which was the best decision I ever made. So I moved on. I sought out education to learn how to attract amazing employees. I sought out education for commercial cleaning processes, vacation rental cleaning processes, how to network and market, how to do digital online marketing, social media, organic marketing. All of these things I went after with a frenzied pace. And I grew my business back by September 2020, after I'd lost everything, I'd grown it back to 140,000 in projected annual revenue. By the time I got to my annual revenue, from that date, the 140 projected, I was at $1 million. So why are we here? Because now what I do is I teach other people how to do this. So I did not do COVID disinfecting. That is not how I got to $1 million. I did not jump on that train. That is not what I'm teaching here. So what I'm teaching is the fundamentals that I used in an economy where there was nothing but other cleaners to catapult myself to $1 million. So what we'll talk about along the way, I really hope, is the myth that there's too many cleaners, is the myth that there's so many cleaners in your area that you can't find any work. That's all a myth. That's a lie. It doesn't exist. As we go through the workshop, I'm going to explain it to you. But just for now, everybody set aside the idea that you have any competition. Okay? Just set that idea aside. Even if you don't believe me, allow yourself to live in a pretend world where you have absolutely no competition. Just do it. Just do it for 5 days. I'll change your life if you can do that for me. I promise you. So when you're in this workshop with me, you have no competition. All right. So the purpose of the workshop, you just heard it. We're here to change your life. I'm so proud of this book. I did not write this book to make money. If I did, I wouldn't be giving it to you for free. I wrote this book to help people. I wrote this book to open up people's minds, to get people, give some people something to consume so that they can understand the thoughts in my mind, the reasons that I teach the things I teach. I am doing this workshop with you to go through 4 of the most important chapters according to your needs, to open your mind to the idea that you don't have competition. You can have $1 million cleaning business within a year, and I can help you get there, specifically, purposefully. So I do want to let you know that you're going to be hearing throughout the next 4 or 5 days, you're going to hear about my programs available, Foundations, Master Plan, and Freedom. That's because I would be doing you a disservice if I pretended they didn't exist, because anybody who's not in my program is missing out on massive cash. Our programs come with guarantees. One guarantees $120,000 in increased revenue in 6 months, the other $500,000 within 1 year. And so if you are, if I wasn't telling you about that, I'd be doing you a disservice. I'm not going to make it into a huge sales pitch, although on day 4, I am going to tell you more about it. I am going to let you know anybody at any time is welcome to message Nolan or Peter and get an appointment to find out more or sign up. All right, so let's move on. I better not waste all of our time on the menial little stuff. You know, the challenges faced in my journey, I've just told you about. I started out with childhood trauma, then I had alcoholism, then I lost everything to COVID, then I gained everything back. And honestly, challenges happen every step of the way. Every time that you level up a little, more challenges come your way. And if the challenges stop, then your business stops growing. And so what you want to do is embrace your challenges. Stop expecting that things are going to be perfect. Stop thinking that you're ever going to live without challenges, problems, issues, chaos. Stop thinking that. Start to learn to manage it better and appreciate it. What did they say? What did that painter, he said, oh, a happy little accident. Ben, what's his name?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. My husband's over there, like giving me the stink eye. Bob Ross. He always, when he was painting, he'd say, oh, a happy little accident. Let's just make that into a tree. That's what business is. So I told you about the motivation behind Grind to Growth. You'll see that I often get ahead of myself. These slideshows are to keep me on track, and often I get ahead of myself. Forgive me. I'm doing the best I can. I've got a lot to tell you. I'm excited about being here. So let me just get rid of this distraction on my screen. So we're going to be building a high performance team. We're talking about how we're going to be building a high performance team. We're diving in now. I'm not sure if you had a chance to read what was in the portal. So for those of you who are not sure of the portal, I should find out right now, has everybody gotten into their portal and have you been able to find the lessons? If you haven't, thank you, Nolan. If you haven't, give me some sort of sign that you need help or reach out to Nolan. But in the portal each day, as soon as I can in the day, you'll get your content for the day. So this morning, probably a little late, 11 or 12 my time, put in the chapter 3. And you can follow along in the portal for each section. I'll let you know when we get through the section. It take you, a minute and a half to read the section. Now I'm going to tell you about what's going on in these sections. So you read and I'll instruct. It's really important in employee attraction that you're focusing on developing a strong employer brand. So you're wanting the word to get out that you are the best employer. This works in both sides of the equation. It works to attract even better employees as you go forward, but it also works to attract even better clients as you go forward. By the time that I sold my business, people were starting to sign up just because, or starting to sign contracts just because they knew that I was an amazing employer. When we went to consults, people would say, the price doesn't matter because I know you're going to do an excellent service. I know how you treat your employees. I want to work with somebody like that. So building your brand and building up your employee systems has as much to do with attracting amazing clients as it does to attracting amazing employees. And I will tell you that the entire system depends on your employees. So it is actually probably the right thing that employee attraction was the first thing we did, because this is what I want you to focus on. Creating comprehensive job descriptions. Let's spend some time to think about the job description that you're creating for your employees. Not the simple, you're going to do this, 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 and this, but why is it important? What is the objective? What do your employees need to, in order to be able to facilitate their job? Don't get so caught up in doing what everybody else is doing. You know, I was online last night looking at the groups. I'm always looking at the groups to find out what cleaning business owners need. And I was so frustrated. There's another couple of coaches out there. I'm not the best coach in the world. I'll never say I am. But I'll tell you, there are some that really have me shaking my head. And so they were talking about how to figure out employees' wages. And one of these coaches who, you know, claims to be the very best, they claim to be the best, they said, are you ready? Okay, I'll get to it. Sorry, I'm flabbergasted. They said, go and find out what everybody else is paying and pay that. Okay, all right. You can find out the average of what everybody else is paying. But what they said was, actually, I should reiterate what I'm saying here. What they said was, go find out what your competitors, I don't know. We don't have competitors, so I have no idea what they're talking about there. They said, go find out what your competitors are charging and pay that. I was like, that's your advice? Phone up Molly Maid and say, what do you pay your employees? And there you go. You got it made. First of all, if you're competing with Molly Maid, stop. Just stop. There's no competition with Molly Maid. Come on. Really. It's a franchise and you are an elite cleaning business owner. So I was just like, really? That's what you're going to tell them? There's so much more to it. And I'm going to dive into it with you guys. But just know, if you want to make your mark in this industry, and I'm sure every one of you is here because you've decided that you're going to be the best. You've decided that you're going to find out how and you're going to be the best. If you're going to be the best, do not compete with the rest. If you're going to be the best, have the best systems, the best processes, stop looking at everybody else and make your mark. Okay? So use those as Nolan's favorite word, key performance indicators, KPIs. My brain wants to turn off, but I'm not going to let it.
Second favorite word, by the way.
It's your second favorite word. What's your most favorite word?
Oh, Carrie, I'm so glad you asked that. My first favorite word is actionable. My very favorite word.
Actionable. It's a good word.
If you read my text messages, man, it's probably the most typed word on my keyboard. It's like if someone asks me like, hey, what's the problem with this? It's like, what are the actionables? Like, what can we actually do to solve this?
That's really great. Yeah, your actionable is my solutions, because my favorite word is solutions. Yeah, perfect. That's why we're a great match to work together. All right. So I better go on. See, I'm getting behind here already. And you really want to take a look at your hiring processes, guys. Like really dive deep into your hiring processes, see what you're doing, and make sure that it's attracting people and not just asking people to hire you. We're going to have to edit out a lot of this, but make sure that you're attracting people and you're not just asking people to work for you. That's the difference between, there's a difference between attracting and warm body syndrome. If you're attracting people, you probably don't have warm body syndrome. It's like dating, right? If you're willing to date anybody that comes along, they're just going to cycle through your life. They don't have there's no reason for them to stay. There's no expectations. When you don't have expectations, you don't provide expectations. You don't create boundaries, then people just walk all over them. So warm body syndrome, I see it all the time. People in Facebook saying, hey, who wants to work tomorrow? I need somebody tomorrow. And then 15 people say yes. And then the person will say, so-and-so, you're hired. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I can tell you what's going to happen. They're not going to show up. And you're going to be back on Facebook and you're going to be saying, can you believe it? They didn't show up. Who wants to come to work? And you're going to have 14 people that say, I do. It's just a vicious circle. Stop doing it. So attract people. You're going to break through plateaus to find those people. And it's really simple. I have the solution, guys. I have the recipe. And if there's anybody in here that's in my actual program, you know it works because you've experienced it. It's really simple. It's more psychology based and is less worried about putting people in the job and more worry about having the right people in the job. So we're going to talk about your mission, visions, and values. And if you were reading this section, you will understand some of what we're about to talk to, the mission statement, why your business exists. So people get these mission and vision statements mixed up. Okay. You don't have to remember this. You're going to have the book. You can read through this again later. You have the recordings. So keep notes for sure, but don't allow yourself too much time to really deep dive into this because we have a lot to cover. Okay. So I don't want to lose you on this, but just know most people get the mission statement and the vision statement mixed up. Your mission is what you're going to do, why your business exists. My mission in life is to help other people overcome obstacles to their success. That's my mission. It's what I'm doing. It's a long range plan. So your mission is something about what your business does. Okay. Mine is to help people overcome obstacles. Yours might be stress-free cleaning services to help every commercial client never have dirty floors again. That's a mission, right? It's like what your superhero statement is. Your vision is what your vision is broad. Your vision is what you want for your statement. Your vision statement should tell people what your basic want for everybody is. So I want everybody to be able to count on our service in order to have clean floors. So have clean floors is the mission. Count on my service is the vision. It's complicated sort of until you get it. There is a recipe to write both a mission and a vision statement. It is so simple. It's a one page or one sentence to write it. You can go to ChatGPT and say to it, this is what my business is about. Write me a vision and a mission statement, and it will. So, if you can't wrap your head around it, let ChatGPT do it for you. But I'm telling you guys, if you're going to be using ChatGPT to help you with these things, make sure that you rewrite it in your own words. Okay, make sure that you're not just copying and paste it because you can see it a mile away. Make it relevant to you. Write it in your own words. It's okay to get help. ChatGPT is a tool, but it's not the source. Okay, you are the source. So make sure it's your words being said there. Core values, my favorite and the easiest for me to explain to you. There are guiding principles. Who you are at your core. I always say, we're going to get into the exercise real quick. I'm going to ask you all to have your pen and paper ready. So get ready because we're going to do that very soon. We're going to go through a core values evaluation or exercise so that you will have your core values before we're even in the first hour of this meeting. Your core values are going to be, if I have my say, the way that you will from now connect with every person you meet, your clients, your employees, your family, the people you love, the people you hate. You will speak to them in core values if I have my way. And you will find it to be a very powerful tool. And I'm just going to keep moving on now. I'm all excited because yes, we're at the core values exercise. Yay. I am a happy, happy woman. This is my favorite exercise. Some of you are bored because you've been here already, but for those who haven't, we're going to go through it very, very fast. So I would like you all to put into the chat, please, for me. I want you to put into the chat. Now, before I tell you what you're putting in there, I want you to just take a moment, take a deep breath. Everybody, including me, I'm so excited. Did everybody do that? Everybody do it with me. Big breath in. Hold it out. Great. Okay, now visualize for me. I want you to think about this. Think about something that when it happens to you or somebody you care about, just drives you nuts. Just something in general. Don't think too hard. The first thing that comes to your mind, and put it in the chat, please. We should have that Jeopardy thing going now to find out what it is. In the chat, in the chat, in the chat. What is something that when it happens to somebody else or yourself, it just drives you nuts? When you see it happening, it could be somebody on the street, it could be your friend, your best friend, your wife, your husband, your children. You get angry when it happens. It's just like, you're like, why is this happening? Let's see. When people have double standards, hypocrites, good. Cheating. Oh, somebody who cheated, good. No accountability, perfect. These are really, really, really great. Rudeness. Yeah, I hate it too. All right, keep going for those of you who haven't, but for those of you who have, we're going to use this as our example. So now, Brandon, Charlotte, Sarah, Nolan, please think to yourself, for the word that you put into the chat, what is the exact opposite of that? So I'm going to get to, actually, rather than that, let's say it out loud. Let's get some interaction here. I'm going to come to you one by one and ask you what the exact opposite of your word is. So let's start with you, Nolan. What is the exact opposite of your word hypocrite?
You know, I thought in the beginning, I thought integrity is probably a good word to describe it, but the opposite of a double standard, I would say, because honesty, you can be honest with someone and still have that double standard. So I think it is integrity. I think it's character.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Double standards, integrity, hypocrites. Yeah, like hypocrite says, a hypocrite tells you one thing and does another. Yeah, integrity for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. So keep that one in your brain. Brandon, can we come to you? The opposite of cheating.
Honesty.
Yeah, so easy, right? Like this is really hard stuff. I'm sorry to make you guys work so hard on a Saturday evening. Yes.
That's all right. I don't mind.
I think you got it right on hit the nail on the head. Honesty, I love it. So remember your word. Let's go to Charlotte. Charlotte, what's the opposite of no accountability? Help her unmute, Nolan. How about you, Sarah? What is the opposite of rude?
Happy.
Happy, rude, happy.
Well,
Rude.
you can't be rude if you're happy.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if you're genuinely happy, you can't be rude. If you're pretending to be happy, you can be rude. Some people are rude unintentionally. Like some people just don't know. But still, I think that makes sense. Rude, happy. I think that makes sense. So now think about these words you have: happy, honest, integrity, and of course, Charlotte, I'm going to say yours for you. The opposite of no accountability is obviously accountability. I mean, it's very simple. So accountability, there's 4 core values. Now, there's one more step to this exercise. So let me just tell you this. All of the things that you said in the beginning, those were negative core values. And all of the things that you said after I asked you to turn it around, those are positive core values. And any business can run on either negative or positive core values, or even a combination of both. An idea of a business that might run on negative core values. Anybody have an idea? Shout it out. Negative core values business.
I would say, oh, that's not even core values. It's tough. It's very tough because positive reinforcement is always better than negative reinforcement. I was thinking of initially like someone who sells alarm systems might do like the fear mongering, but not, I wouldn't say that necessarily saying like, is your house safe? That's not necessarily a core value, right?
Well, you know, what you're talking about here, and it's so cool that you say it, it's we're talking about pain points. And when we're doing sales, we need to find people's pain points, and we need to make them understand that we can make that go away. And that's something that we'll teach in client acquisition. So nice. But here it is. There are 2, in my way of thinking, there are 2 big businesses that run on absolute negative core values. Those are media and mafia. If you look at these core values, hypocritical, cheating, no accountability, rude, media and mafia. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, I don't know if the media is rude, but they're kind of rude because they're getting in people's space, or they're taking pictures of people when they don't want it done. They're talking behind their back and creating gossip. So yeah, they're rude too. So I believe that service-based industries, especially in the cleaning business, should work on positive core values, which is exactly what you guys have: integrity, honesty, accountability, and happy. Those are amazing core values, right? So now if you think about running your cleaning business, if you're running on negative core values, you'd probably be able to go work for the mafia or the media. You'd have great, your core values would match. And the way that you get to work with people and how you get to, like, if you want to ever become a leader, which is what you need to be if you're running a business as a leader, you need to be working with people with the same core values, because you can lead people with the same core values. You can't lead a liar into a lie detector room, right? You can't lead a thief into the cop shop, right? They're not going to go there with you. So that's one thing to think about if you've been somebody who's been saying core values are not important, and I see it sometimes. I don't know why people think that they aren't important. It is important, and it should be everywhere. It should be all over your marketing. It should be all over your procedures for your employee attraction and your training. It should be in your staff meetings. It should be in your reviews. It should be everywhere. Your core values. This is the start of attracting people to you, attracting the right people to you, and you're going to use your positive core values. We all have negative core values that we go on. Sometimes we engage our negative core values when we're afraid or lonely or fearful. I already said afraid, confused, frustrated, angry. We implore our negative core values. And then afterwards, if you're the type of person who is motivated by positive core values, and you kind of shun yourself, like, why did I do that? How could I act that way? That's not me. But everybody has negatives and positives, but you want to focus on the positives. Very quickly, we'll just finish off this exercise. And the way to finish off this exercise is, now that you have your core value, the next thing you want to do is make a small phrase or sentence using your core values so that you could easily say it to somebody else and have it flow very smoothly. So I'm going to give one example. I'm going to use Charlotte's example just in case she's not able to talk to us. She said accountability. Thanks, Charlotte. I'm going to use hers as an example. I'm going to come around and ask the rest of you. Don't worry. It's easier than you think. Don't let this be hard. Okay. Accountability. If you're going to use accountability as your core value and you wanted it to motivate people around you, you might say something like, be accountable, or accountability always, or accountability is key, something like that. So you're going to make a little short phrase or a small sentence in order to be able to effectively say that and be motivational in it. So I'm going to come to you one by one and ask you a short sentence or phrase. If you don't have one, I'm going to help you get it. So Sarah, yeah, all you're going to want to do is make a short sentence or phrase out of your core value of happy. So I used accountability, and I said, practice accountability, be accountable, accountability always, something like that. So how would you make happy into a small sentence or phrase?
Well, if you're happy,
and clap your hands.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. If you're happy working, then you're going to do a good job. And you're going to feel good at the end of the day. When you go home, you're not going to feel exhausted. You're going to feel good about your day.
Yeah. So maybe it would be happy.
Yeah, be happy.
You almost said it. You just went right around the corner, but that's exactly what you were saying in my mind was be happy and you're going to have a happy life.
Yes.
Yeah. And see how I just made it into a motivational statement? Be happy and you're going to be happy and you'll work better. Be happy and their customers will be happy. Be happy and money will flow to you. Be happy and everybody else is happy. You can use it in so many different ways to motivate people once you have it as a short sentence or phrase. It was awesome. Thank you so much. Let us see if Brandon can help us with the honesty. Can you make a small phrase or sentence out of honesty?
We do all business in an honest way.
Aha. You just said it. Always be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I mean, how more obvious could it be? If you're talking to a client, let's say you're doing a walkthrough with a client and the client is like, I'm just so upset because our current cleaners say they're going to be here for 3 hours, but they're gone after an hour and things are not done. And, the place is always dirty and they promised me they wouldn't do that. Could you imagine if you just turned around and said, you know what? One of our core values is to always be honest, and our employees are motivated to always follow our core values. So, if we tell them to stay 3 hours, they stay 3 hours. You're never going to have to put up with that problem with us because we're always honest. Could you imagine having that conversation
Yes.
and how it would affect somebody? I want you guys to understand, like when I was saying that, I really felt it because I believe in honesty as well. You know that I was an alcoholic. And when I was leaving treatment, I went for a 28-day rehab treatment. Best thing I ever did. Hardest, most scary thing I ever did. I'll let you guys know that anytime that I come against something that scares me in my life, I think about the day that I had to open the door and get out of my car and go into treatment. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. Everything since then is easy, even the hard stuff. But we had to make 2 promises when we left that we would never, ever fail on. And so my promise is that I will never tell an intentional lie. So sometimes we lie by accident. Sometimes we lie because we think we know the truth and it's wrong. Or sometimes we lie because we sort of get backed into a corner and we don't know what else to say. So we just let it slip out. And then later we think, why did I lie? I try not to do those things, but I will never purposely tell a lie. That is my promise to myself. And so when I was talking to you about honesty, it flowed really easy because it is one of my core values. So thank you for that. Does that make sense to you for your core value?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And let us give our dear friend Nolan accolades with his. What, for your integrity piece, what would be your short sentence or short phrase?
Well, so integrity is a huge part of what we do. So if I had to condense it down into just a small phrase, I would probably use ChatGPT, to be perfectly honest. But if I'm just trying to be creative here and flex that muscle, I would say integrity is key. I mean, it can't be more simple than that.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I love it. And I do just want to say for this one, please, guys, don't use ChatGPT. We want this to come from your heart. What the purpose of this exercise is to actually get to your heart. So don't go to ChatGPT and ask it to give you your core values, and try to come up with your own sentence because, well, it's not that hard. It's not that hard that you have to depend on another device for it. Sometimes you'll cook your own pancakes. You don't always have to have the frozen pancakes in the toaster, So be very, very careful not to depend too much. And in this instance, try to stay away from ChatGPT because this is the foundation setting. So it's about anchoring it in from your heart to somebody else's heart. I have no problem with using ChatGPT if you're confused or stuck, but try not to. And tomorrow, when we come back, I'll ask you all to bring back 4 core values that actually are your core values. Now, if you use ChatGPT, I mean, I'm not your boss. I'm just saying that it's going to mean so much more to you if you figure this out on your own. Mission statement, vision statement, go and ask ChatGPT so you don't get confused about the little tiny differences. I don't mind if you use Nolan's suggestion, but try on your own first, okay? So not ChatGPT. So your core values, once you learn to speak them and you're speaking them from your heart, you honestly are speaking to someone else's soul when you speak to them in core values. And it is so true. Once you get used to having core values conversations, you'll notice the changes in people. And so before we move on, and we do have to move on fairly soon, but I do want to just give you guys one example of how you can use core values conversations once you get used to using them. This is something that I teach my clients over time. It takes time to learn core values and how to have conversations, but once you master it, you can have any conversation in the world without emotion. And by that, I mean without attaching emotion to it, which causes you to get derailed. We're all emotional people, and emotions are a good thing, but sometimes you need to get to the basics of the conversation in order to maneuver it correctly. So is there anybody in here that wants to volunteer to have a core values conversation? I'm going to do the core values part of it. You just have to give me a problem.
Sure, I'll do it.
Awesome. So do you have an idea for a problem?
You want me to act as like a customer who has a problem?
That would be perfect.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I have an idea as a problem. Yeah, I'm just worried about what your guys' schedule looks like because our last cleaners, they would burn us a little bit. They would say, can we move it back an hour? Or some of them would show up on time, some of them would show up early, some of them, their team would break up into different pieces and one would show up and then the other. So I'm just trying to make sure that that doesn't happen again because we're on a tight schedule.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to say I'm really sorry that's happening to you. Sometimes I've seen that happen with other cleaning businesses when they're like underbidding the project and they just don't have enough time, or they are having troubles attracting the right employees. So they're understaffed and they're just running from job to job. I'm so sorry that's happening to you. But I wanted to let you know that here at my cleaning business, we actually motivate our employees through bonuses, perks, and benefits to follow and act in our core values of do good, be good, do what is required, and work as a team. And I want you to know that in the aspect of do good, be good, I do everything I can to make sure that my employees have everything that they require to be able to do an efficient job, including procedural documents, mandatory walkthroughs, and actually under our do what is required category, our employees are required to stay for the specific amount of time that we have allotted to your job. So we'll come through, we'll do a complete procedure analysis of your facility, we'll create a procedure. And in the first 3 or 4 visits, we might be like tweaking things. Maybe we need a little more time. Maybe we need to focus in a different area a little more. We're going to figure it out. And by the time we've had 3 or 4 meetings or 3 or 4 cleanings here, we're going to have a perfect system. We're going to know exactly how long it will take them to clean. And we're not going to allow them to leave early. If we find out our employees are leaving early, it does affect their bonus. So our employees have an earned bonus according to our core values of do good, be good, do what is required, and work as a team. That means if they were to leave early and not do your job appropriately as well, they're going to lose 1% of their bonus. So they start out at 10%, and every time they do something that goes against our core values, they lose 1%. This keeps our employees motivated to be the very best all the time at their job. Now, would you feel that might, that's 7 years of core values conversations with hundreds of owners. You're not going to get this tomorrow, but if you practice it all the time, you will get it. Would you feel that if you were given a consult and I came at you with that type of core values conversation, would you feel like it would ease your burden?
Yeah, it would definitely take away some of the stress.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that. It's the answer I was looking for. It was maybe a little long-winded, and I don't know if I would be that long-winded. It's just that I wanted to really accentuate the core, how you can put your core values into conversations. Another one is yours was integrity. I would say, you know what? I'm so sorry that's happening to you. I just wanted to let you know that our cleaning business's core value is integrity. And our employees are motivated through bonuses, perks, and benefits to never, ever be, see, I'm getting stumped, to never go against our integrity. That's not right. Let me start again. I wanted to let you know that our employees are motivated by our core value of integrity, and it would absolutely be against our core value of always function with integrity if they were to leave early and not get your job done. We would take care of that right away. That would not be something that you would have to worry about. Have fun at the festival, Sarah. Did that sound better?
Yeah, absolutely. I liked it.
More to the point. So the idea here is that you're touching their soul. Honestly, it sounds like malarkey when you first hear it. I know it does because I first heard it once. But once you start giving yourself the opportunity to try this, it really does work. So start having core values conversations with everybody you know. Pick one of your core values and try to put it into sentences when you're talking to people. Just slip it in there. Yeah. So if you're at the gas station and the guy in front of you tells the cashier, no, you gave me too much change. You could say, hey man, that's amazing. You know what? One of my core values is integrity, and you really touched my soul when you gave that money back. Start having core values conversations. It'll get easy. All right. Thank you. My favorite conversation. There's so much I didn't say. Like if you're somebody that's in my program, you know that this is actually half an hour conversation. We really dive into it, but today I had to keep it short, and we did the core values. See, I got ahead of myself. I got ahead of myself on the core values. Visualizing frustration. See, I put it all on the slides and now I did it. So let's just keep going through here. We'll just go ahead.
Barry,
I do
you've
this
done it so
all the
many
time.
times. Yeah, you just forgot to click the button. You did the whole exercise with us.
Yeah, it's so funny. I do this all the time, but these slides are here to keep you on track. But sometimes I go off on a tangent without them. If you know me, you know I go off on tangents. Crafting short phrases, integrating values into culture, inspiring your team. All right. When inspiring your teams, the first thing you need to do is define the behaviors and standards that will inspire them. And if you want to know how to do that, you have to ask them. Now, there are some ways that you can ask your employees. You know, I think I hear somebody in this room saying, oh, I'll create a survey. Oh, I'll create a poll. Well, isn't that nice and offhandish? Isn't that a beautiful way to not talk to your employees? I'll create a survey. No, get them in a room and talk to them. Treat them like they're important. Let them know they're important. Have a monthly staff meeting. It's so simple. Have a monthly staff meeting. Now I have an owner who's got this all jumbled up and mixed up. Hopefully we'll be able to get together next week and talk about this because, you know, the thing about monthly staff meetings is you have to pay your staff. You have to pay them to come. You can't require people to show up at a staff meeting and not pay them. And what I did to alleviate this concern was that I would have them all come to a Zoom meeting, and I would keep the Zoom meeting to half an hour. Now, there's a basic outline that we use for our staff meetings, and you can get through it. And basically, the staff meeting is to talk about the obstacles you overcame in the past month, talk about the opportunities that you see coming up in the next month, and to praise your employees, get their feedback, and make them feel like a part of the team. This is how you're going to inspire team alignment, by talking to them as if they are important. And they are important. Like, if you're somebody who thinks that you are more important than your employees, please reevaluate. Okay, you are nothing without your employees. You are absolutely nothing without your employees. You cannot go out and clean $1 million worth of business on your own. Okay, you can't have $1 million corporation. You can't be successful if you don't have employees. They are everything for you. Okay, you need to get that into your head. You need to remember it. Now, we have bad days. Sometimes we say and do the wrong things. That's okay. So do they, right? Sometimes we all get off track and we're not the best boss, including me. It's about having the team aligned in such a way that when you have a bad day, they say, you know what? I recognize that you're having a bad day and I'm here for you. Okay. If you are the type of boss who's completely away from your employees, you think that you shouldn't be, like, you know, what do you say, mingling with the peasants, then what you're going to have is an uproar, an uprising. Your employees are going to do what they want, say what they want, go where they want, poach your clients. All of those things happen because you don't have team centeredness. What people want is to be significant. And they want to be significant to you. They adore you. They idolize you. You are the most important person in the world. You are the person that puts the food on their table. You are the most important person to them, whether you believe it or not, and whether they act it or not. And I'm telling you, if you have employees that don't act like you're the most important person, that's your fault. That's because you haven't shown them the respect that they deserve. Get in alignment with your teams. Yes, go ahead, Nolan.
I don't want to take up too much time. Whenever we talk about being a good leader and what it means to really lead your team, I did a project in high school about pirates, and I learned something very interesting about the pirate captain. Did you guys know that the captain of a pirate ship is appointed by a majority vote of all of the people on the pirate ship? The captain is only there because the majority of the people want him to be the leader, him or her, right? And if at any time the entire pirate ship wants to have a mutiny, they can cast away their pirate captain and say, we want a new captain, right? And the only time that can't happen is when they're in battle, when they're actually doing the job. So it's very much like cleaning, in the sense that when you're having these staff meetings, it's almost like you're having a meeting with your people about, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to do this. You know, the job isn't being done right now, but it will be. And you have to be a good leader and have the majority of people at your back. But when you're out there on the job, everyone needs to listen to the captain, and there's no time for politics when, you know, you're in the middle of a battle, right? And I feel like it ties itself into cleaning, because as a good leader, first of all, you should have the best interest of the whole team at heart. Absolutely. And second of all, a good leader should be able to lead from the front, right? A captain of a pirate ship, he's the first one on deck when they're taking over another ship, right? And it should be the same thing for a business owner. That doesn't mean you have to be the one at every single cleaning. It doesn't mean you have to be holding the mop, but it means you have to be backing your team in pretty much everything that you do.
I love that. That was great. Thank you so much, Nolan. Wow, that was amazing. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Thank you. So the monthly staff meetings is a great way. Also, what I think, I'm not sure if you got on that point. I was so amazed by what you were saying. Like things were going on in my head. I was like, oh, that's what mutiny means. Oh, I see. Oh, I get it. Oh, not during battle. Of course, that makes sense. Because during battle, everybody's in an uproar. Nobody can think straight, and you've got a mission, right? That's why mutinies aren't, but I didn't know mutinies weren't allowed during battle. Like it all made so much sense. Thank you for that. But what I wonder is, I forgot my point, so I'm just going to move on. Sometimes this happens to me.
I can maybe I can help you talk about like bring you back, because just before I mentioned that, you were talking about monthly staff meetings, and then you started talking about basically the job after you have those monthly staff meetings, like within there. No, I forgot what you were talking about. But before
Saturday night.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah, it's one of those.
Saturday night. I don't drink, but boy, sure feels like it. Okay. So let's move on so that we can try to keep up with our timing here. You're going to want to foster a cohesive and motivated, high-performing team, which is just what we've been talking about. It's just the same with, it's what happens when you define their behavioral standards. Okay, you're going to want to define these standards in a procedure document, policies and procedures, employee handbook. I do both. I do a policies and procedures. This is I think it's like I don't know if it's 60 or 70 pages. I might have made it smaller. I can't remember, of procedures that never change, policies that never change, like discrimination policy, bullying policy, smoking policy, drugs on site policy, and that's never going to change. So that's in my policies and procedures book. In my employee handbook or my employee manual, I call it a new employee info package, because I want the new employees to want to read it. I want them to be excited. This was made just for you, new employee info package. In that is the things that might change, like the hours of operation, or, we have some owners in our program who are switching from driving their cleaners around to having their drivers drive their own car. Well, those systems are going to change. And so you're going to want to update your manual. So I'd rather update a 10-page info package than a 60-page policy document. So that's one of the ways that you're going to keep alignment on your teams. Here's your core values in practice. These are mine. Do good, be good, work as a team, and do what is required. All backwards, but there they are. We already talked about that. So how does this all come together with brand? In the beginning, we were talking about how you need to brand your employee attraction. Now, I mentioned in the beginning how if you have a reputation of being the most amazing employer, that your employees are always happy, they're always showing up on time, they're always doing a great job. When things go wrong, you correct it and you take care of it. You don't go in when somebody, please never do this. Everybody in this room, please never do this. When a client phones you or messages you or grabs you on the street about a problem, please don't blame your employees. Please don't ever blame your employees. Okay. That is the thing that so many people kind of go to. Like they think that they're going to create professionalism by, being the boss. I can't believe they do that. Somebody's getting fired. I'm going to take care of this right away. That's all like, I don't know. In my opinion, that's Neanderthal. That's not how we do things in this world. That's not how we get results. How we get results is by working with our teams to come up with solutions. That's why we're having team meetings once a month. And that's what I was going to talk about. One of my owners is only inviting their key employees. They've got about 35 people on staff, and they're only inviting five or six to the staff meeting, because in their eyes, those 5 or 6 are the only ones that matter. If you have 35 people and you're only paying attention to 5 of those people, how many people feel valued? 5 people. 5 people out of 35 feel valued. How can you possibly have a team that's in alignment? If 30 people are left out from the staff meetings, the only opportunity that your employees have to be in your presence, and they adore you, and you close the door on them, peasants, get out of my staff meeting. Get those peasants out of here. Imagine imagine what the culture that you're creating there. Don't do that. That's why you have quick half-hour staff meetings. Yes, it's going to cost you a little money, but I'll tell you this, it's not going to cost you as much money as it's going to cost you to have employees who don't feel valued. Employees who don't feel valued, don't show up on time. They don't care if your clients are being served. They don't care if the job is done correctly. They'll steal, they'll lie, they'll cheat. You can't even watch any of that because you have no clue who they are. You know, so think about these things. It all kind of falls back into itself. Everything happens for a reason if you have a good employee strategy. Everything affects something else. So that's something that I really wanted to get off my chest. And here it is in the meeting. If you're a client of mine, I'll let you know that when I see owners doing something like this, I do have a couple owners in here who have not done this, who I've seen on the wrong track in one way or another, where I've had to say, hey, I'm really sorry. I really think that you're amazing, but I have to stop you and I have to do my job, which is to stop you from making mistakes. So that is the conversation I'm going to have with this owner. I've tried to be very polite. Hey, you know, are you sure you want to leave those people out of hey, this is why I think that it's a good idea. Now I'm going to have a meeting with her and tell her, I think you're making a huge mistake. It's going to cost you money. So don't worry, I'm on it. Regular discussions in team meetings. One of the things that I love to do in every employee or in every staff meeting is an employee of the month. And that's what 30 people out of 35 are missing out on for that one employer. Because in the group interview, we talk about, I'll tell you guys about group interviews in a minute. In the group interview, we talk about perks, bonuses, and benefits. Perks, bonuses, and benefits. Can I have a drink as well, please? Non-alcoholic. So one of the things that we talk about is the employee of the month. We let them know that there's a monthly staff meeting, that they're team centered. And in the Freedom Program, we do these interviews for our clients. So that's something that's kind of irritating to me, that she told me to make a promise that she's not keeping. That's not fair to me. That's forcing me to tell a lie, right? And I don't lie. So these things work. We tell them that in the group interview to attract them. People like significance, and when they find out there's going to be an employee or a team meeting once a month and an employee of the month will be announced, they're looking forward to that. And if they don't get invited to the staff meeting, now they're feeling like, honestly, the gum on the shoe. And aren't we all frustrated with our clients treating us like we're just cleaners? Isn't that what frustrates us? And then we go out and do that to our own employees. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So think about those things and understand how one affects the other and how you can very easily get your employees to love you. If your employees love you, they will love your business and your clients and each other. So that's all about reinforcing culture and alignment with company goals. When I'm talking about company goals here, what I'm saying is in your staff meetings, be willing to tell them what's going on. Say, guys, we got this huge opportunity. We're so excited. Nothing happens until it happens, but this is what we're looking for. Imagine if you're somebody who believes in manifestation, you got 35 employees in a room that are manifesting on the same big job that you are, something magical is going to happen. And then when you get it, you celebrate it with them. You have a Facebook group page and you go in there and you're like, celebration, we got this job. Who's excited about it? Who wants it? Now you're going to get people to put up their hand and let you know if they want to work that job, and you want to pick the people who want to work the job because they're going to be the very best at the job, right? So this is how you keep things moving. Like always think in the future and stop acting like the future is never coming. All right, let me move on. Oh boy, I'm getting on fire now, guys. I'm getting warmed up. Showcasing culture and benefits, celebrating achievements, open door policy. This is so important. Now we have the Freedom Program where my administration team is administering the employees for our clients. So our clients don't have to do the day-to-day things with our employees. We have an open door policy where our employees can message the admin team anytime they want with any problem they have, and they will help them find the solutions. This is as much for customer services as it is for the employees, because most people in this day and age, especially post-COVID, feel very insecure. COVID traumatized so many people to feel like they're on their own, that they have to do this alone, that there's nobody there to support them. Like, think about the trauma that happened to people that when they were closed inside and they weren't allowed to go out. Like, I mean, so much happened during that. There was COVID created more addiction issues, more depression, suicide, marriage breakups, estrangement of parents and children. It disconnected people from their support system. And this is what people crave the most. So we let them message the admin portal. As long as they're not messaging the owners and bothering the owners with every little thing, message us on the admin channel. So if you have an administrator, please just tell them to be open to talking to the employees. You're also going to find out things you don't know about your business. You're going to find out that when they're on their way to this one job every day, they hit this pothole that's causing trouble to their tire. Or you're going to find out that there's homeless people sleeping in the ATM at the bank every night. You're going to find out things that you won't find out if the employees aren't talking to you. And this actually happened with one of my owners, that the employee was going in the morning before the bank opened, against the rules. And what she was doing, the bank has specific set alarms from certain times. The cleaner must be in and out in these certain times, and they were going after the time. It was setting off the main alarm, which was costing the bank money. And the bank was annoyed and upset that this was happening when they were very specific about the hours. But the employee, who happens to be an employee of the same owner that I'm having some troubles with her employee alignment, was afraid to let the owner know that there are homeless people hanging out in the ATM, and she's terrified of that. I mean, you know what we did? We just adjusted her hours so that she gets to the bank right when the tellers are leaving. And now the homeless people don't come until the lights in the bank go off. So if she gets there right when the tellers are leaving, she goes in, the tellers go out, the homeless people stay away until she's gone for the night and the lights are out. It was a very simple fix. But instead, she was afraid to tell her owner that she was afraid. Like, imagine being afraid to tell somebody you're afraid. I mean, I think many of us have been there in our life. You don't want your team afraid to tell you they're afraid. And on top of it, all of the lack of professionalism she portrayed in the decisions she made because she was afraid. Fear is the thing that will destroy your business. You're afraid, your employees are afraid, your clients are afraid. That's what's going to destroy your business. All right, move on, Carrie. Benefits. Okay, so try to think of benefits beyond traditional benefits, like, flexible hours, professional development. These are benefits other than the typical medical, dental, mileage. All of those are nice things to have, but think about what people need that they don't get. For 2 years in my business, I wasted tens of thousands of dollars. In the second year, it was $16,000 wasted on medical benefits that not one of my employees used. In the first year, it was $12,000. And I got on the phone with my benefits man. I got on the phone with him and I said, they're not using the benefits. This is a huge waste of my money. What do I do? He said, well, just motivate them to use it, like send out a reminder once a month for them to go get their teeth cleaned, and missing detail, ask them if they need glasses and remind them that they have their benefits package. Yeah, I did that for a year. It cost me $4,000 more. And now I was constantly nagging my employees. Finally, at the end of the second year, I had them into a staff meeting. I said, this is frustrating. I want you guys to know I wasted $16,000 last year on medical benefits, and not one of you went to one appointment. You didn't go to the chiropractor. You didn't get your teeth done. You didn't get glasses. Like, why? I want you to have this. And 2/3 of them said it's covered already because they're like single moms and they're on these government programs where they don't need my benefits package. And the other one said, I don't need it. I don't need those things. And I'm like, well, what should we spend $16,000 on? Because I'm sick and tired of giving it away to somebody who doesn't care about you. What should I spend $16,000 on? And they had lots of ideas, and we utilized their ideas. We gave them what they asked for. We gave them loans. to put down payments on homes and cars. We made a grand prize draw once a year of $1,000 for a gift certificate for WestJet Airlines and guaranteed 2 weeks off to go anywhere they wanted at any time they wanted. And then we used that as a way to motivate them, guys. What we did was every time that they did something special for a coworker or client or the business in general, they got a draw. They got an entry in the draw. I had 70 employees falling all over themselves to do good deeds for each other. It was unbelievable. It was the highest point my business had ever been at. It was beautiful. And it cost me $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year. You could have more draws. I had one. I also, by the way, if you're thinking about doing this, put it at the time when you have the most amount of employees leaving. So our time when employees would leave us and go to other employers was usually in January, February. That's because it gets slow in the area that I used to have my cleaning business. It got really slow in the winter, and the employees had to stick around through some hard times. And so I would find ways to motivate them to hang out with us and to be motivated. One of the problems in the slow season was that they want their hours 8 to 4. They don't want to be outside of their hours whatsoever. They do not want to, but in the slow season, the hours are a little more like they might have to work later or earlier. They might have to do commercial instead of vacation rental or post-construction. They need to be more flexible. The way to get an employee to be more flexible is give them a reward for it. Don't say you have to do this to have the job. Say, hey, guess what? If you're still here in January, you'll be eligible for that grand prize draw. And guess what? Anybody who leaves is not eligible. Their names are coming out of that hat. And if there's only you and 2 other people with names in that hat, the more draws you have in there, the more likely it is your name's going to get picked. They're like, oh, well, I guess I will work until 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights if you need me to. You know? So think about that. Like I keep reiterating, everything kind of flows around itself. One thing leads into another. There's a solution. I have all these solutions. I have really great solutions. If you ever need help, just tell me. I'm so excited to help you. Let's move on. I think that we're only in section 1 and there's so many sections to go. So I'm going to speed it up here. We talked about job descriptions. I'm not going to waste our time on that. Skills and qualifications. Be careful on this. I want you to not worry about skills and qualifications until it's time to train them. Just the only thing I'm going to say about this is it's easier to train somebody with absolutely no skills and qualifications for cleaning than to untrain an employee who thinks they know it all. And if you're somebody who's offering an elite service, what you want is procedures that everybody must follow. They must be detailed and to the point, extreme. Like you need to be the very best in order to have no competition, right? So you're going to need your employees to all be following the same system. And that means it's easier to teach somebody a system than to get rid of their bad habits or train their bad habits out of them. In your hiring process, really, you need to have a structured system. You need to sit down and think this out. You need to get into a strategy call with me. I will help you with this. You really want to create, consistency and fairness in your assessments. And how I do that is I let them weed themselves out, guys. There is a system to have people dropping off and choosing to opt out rather than you trying to figure out who is the best fit for the job. It's a pretty amazing system. It works so well. We have the group interview where we invite all candidates to the group interview, regardless of their skills and abilities, regardless of what they do in their life right now. Don't forget that many people are looking for a second job or sometimes even a third job because they have to, they're taking care of their parents and their children at the same time. They need to pay their mortgage. They want to buy a new car, buy a new house. Those people want second jobs. People who have IT tech jobs who want to come cleaning could be very valuable in that they are sick and tired of sitting on their butt all day. They want some physical work, right? People who have another job that has nothing to do with cleaning will be a very lucrative employee to have. So stop filtering through their resumes. Stop worrying about it. You're first going to have a group interview, which we refer to as the initial interview. You'll invite everybody to the initial interview. You'll have it over Zoom. And I'll let you know that only 1/3 of the people that say they're coming will show up. Because not everybody, believe it or not, can just turn on their laptop and be at a Zoom interview. There are things that will hold them back. There is the inability to understand technology. There is the inability to show up. There's language barriers. There's comprehension barriers. There's family issues. There's not everybody who wants a job needs a job, and not everybody who wants a job can handle a job. You'll find this a lot with healthcare workers, by the way. Healthcare workers are the best workers to have in the cleaning industry and the hardest to get to commit. Because what happens is they'll get a call into work at the last minute to their healthcare job, and they'll take that instead of coming to work for you. Or they think they want another job until they have to come to work. Healthcare workers are the worst. Private one-on-one is after the group interview. You're going to use the group interview as an opportunity to tell them all about you, your business, your wages, perks, and benefits. Put it all out there on the line in the group interview. And then invite them to book their own one-on-one. There are a few ways to do this. My favorite way is to have a Calendly link with your availability where you give them the link. You say, if you want an interview with me, click on this link and book a time that works for you. You're asking them to be honest about their schedule, and you're giving them the opportunity to show that they can get it done, that they have the skills to maneuver this. And then on the one-on-one interview is going to be another Zoom interview. Don't waste your time getting in a room with somebody until you bring them into the on-the-job interview. On the on-the-job interview, it is what it sounds like. You must pay for this, people. You must pay people to give their time to you. If you think that people should come to work for you and not get paid, whether or not they're learning, you're wrong. It's not fair to ask somebody to give you their time. You won't give away your time to your clients. Why are you asking other people to do that? Like, think about this, okay? If it's too expensive for you to be able to afford to pay people for on-the-job interviews, then you're not pricing effectively and you need to see me immediately. Your on-the-job interview is disguised as an orientation, is an orientation in disguise, actually, because what you're doing is orientating them at their pace. So if we have 2 people on a job for 3 hours and we're sending in somebody to train, we have 3 people on the job for 3 hours. We don't try to cut it down to cut the time down. We allow this person to be in the environment at their own pace. Some people will pick up quicker and be go-getters. Other people get shy and intimidated on the first day, and they're going to be slow. And, the idea is to ease them into the job, give them time to adjust. Like I keep saying, there's a lot of trauma since COVID. People are not the same. And they're certainly not the same as they were when we were children or young adults. So don't forget that, okay? So your interview strategies are to make sure that you're having a core values interview model. So you use your core values, you create questions around your core values. You're watching for the critical thinking skills in your one-on-one interview. This is where you're asking strategic questions, things like, what if you set off an alarm? What if you break something? What if your partner doesn't show up? Let's find out what their strategies are, how their critical thinking skills are. And on the job interview is about team alignment. Ask your team how they feel. Ask your team if they like them. Hear what they say about your team. It is really amazing what you learn by letting your team handle the on-the-job interview. Don't forget, you're not teaching them how to run your entire business. You're just getting a feel for them. Let them hang out with your team. You should not be there, by the way, on the job interview. On the job interview, don't be there. You need your employees to crave time with you, not expect it. Okay. And criminal record checks are very important. Now, it just depends on where you are. Some people can just go on and get a criminal record online. In Canada, it's harder. The idea here, if you have the proper system in place, you shouldn't need to do a criminal record check for the on-the-job interview if you're using a good system to bring in core values-minded people. If you're just letting anybody come from Craigslist or Facebook or wherever, if you're just saying, yeah, you're hired because they said, yeah, I want a job, you should have a criminal record check before you bring them in. You're going to get criminals. You're going to get drug addicts. You're going to get alcoholics. You're going to get homeless people. If you are just going on Facebook and saying, who wants to work? And then you're telling them, come to work, you are going to have problems. Get a criminal record check. Conclusion, detailed job descriptions and structured interviews lead to a cohesive team. Whew, section 1 over. I'm going to skip over the key takeaways because I don't want to, beat this to death, especially because we got to get going. I think I've almost used up all my time. So any questions before we move on? These focus workshops can be a lot. Are you all with me? Can I have a thumbs up if you're still hanging out with me? One hanger honor. Two hanger honors. Three hanger honors. That's the count, right? Did I do a good? Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell it was the count.
You don't
You
lie
could,
well.
you could do like a Transylvanian accent, make it a little.
Can't do any accent.
No, you can't do Mexican accent.
I can't. Peter just tells me to be quiet when we go out here in Mexico and I'm trying to talk. He's like, just stop talking. I'll do it for you.
Tell me what you want to say.
The cabbies think I'm hilarious because I try to talk to them. It's funny.
Can you
I can't
give
do
me
that.
your best like Mexican accent or your best Spanish?
Say gracias. Just say it.
Okay, gracias.
That's pretty
Gracias.
good. I like it.
Peter thinks it's terrible.
That's awful.
He's like, don't say it. I'll say
Okay,
thank you.
well, Peter, what's yours?
Yeah, Peter, you say it.
Muchas gracias, señor.
Okay, he's trying too hard.
Ah,
I've been speaking quite a bit lately, so
he's taking both Spanish and Italian
Really, at
All
the
right.
same time?
at the same time.
You use Duolingo or what?
What do
yeah.
you? Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, let's go on because we got a lot to do and a little time to do it. Offering competitive compensation and benefits. Okay, so you need to attract and retain the top talent. I'm going to go through this quickly. You can get a strategy call with me if you need it. You want to get the average in your area and add 10%. You do not want to phone around to every employer to get this. What you want to do is go to the source where the data is kept, and that's Indeed. Indeed has the best data because they are the #1 hiring platform in the world. Anywhere you go, I use it for all of my clients, and we're doing their pricing for strategy. So go to Indeed, find out what the average is. So Indeed will have they'll have actually two different posts on the Google listing. One, they'll be about $3 apart. So grab the middle. If it's 16 and 18, grab 17 and add 10%, $1.70. So it'd be $18.70 would be your starting wage. And you need to address efficiency issues and growth challenges. So you need to be checking on these issues and figuring out why they're happening. And for every issue, there is a reason. And it's usually very simple. Usually the thing that's, like the thing holding back the dam is like this tiny little stick, I don't know what I'm trying to visualize here, but what am I trying to visualize? Like if you pull one stick out, the whole dam just lets go.
Mhm.
I don't know. The cog in the wheel. That's what I'm visualizing, the cog in the wheel. There's just one little thing that's holding back your entire business. It's probably systems and processes, probably. Once you get your employee attraction going and you got your client acquisition going, if things aren't still working one of the three is always wrong, or one of the three is always holding you back. Now I have to explain what's going on in this head of mine. One of those three things is always going to be holding you back, depending on where you're at in your next level of growth. So when you first start getting a lot of clients, then all of a sudden you don't have enough employees. And then you have lots of employees and your systems are all out of whack. And then you get your systems in place and you don't have enough clients. And it just keeps moving around. Those three things will constantly be moving. If you can learn how to improve those systems as you go, the sky is not the limit. But you have to learn, and how you have to learn is start with the foundation. Researching marketing rates, understanding compensation. I just talked about that. Suggestion is the average plus 10%. And then look at health benefits, retirement plans, and paid time off. But I honestly suggest that after you've hit 1 million. Get to 1 million first. There are other things you can do to motivate your employees that's not going to cost you that much money. After 1 million, these are really nice things to have as employee tax benefits, right? Or employer tax benefits. But if you don't need the tax benefit, find other ways for now, because these are expensive. These are expensive to facilitate, but they can actually save you money when you're in the right tax bracket. And for your compensation packages, structuring your compensation packages, you're going to research all of these things. Make sure that you're creating these for your employees so your employees are affected positively. Always let your potential employees know in the group interview what the benefits are, and let your current employees know always, like in every team meeting. And by the way, if you have to increase your minimum wage to hire new staff, you're going to increase your current cleaners' wages. So if your minimum wage goes up by $1, your current cleaners' wages go up by $1. Don't forget that. And don't be thinking that's not important. It's so important. You're also going to increase your prices. Compensation strategies. I've been talking about all of this already. Legal considerations, please, please, please. If you're creating a policies and procedures manual, many of you in this program have received my policies and procedures manual or my training, my workshop on that. When it's done, take it to your lawyer, please, because it's different in every state, right? The laws are different in every state. What you can say about sexual harassment and bullying, and what you can say about smoking and drug use and medical stuff. Like, there's so much in this day and age that could offend people and could cost you money. Go to a lawyer, have a lawyer look it over. It cost me about $500 to have my original, because you guys are going off of my original policy and procedure package. I made it into a template for you, but I had a lawyer look it over, and it cost me about $500, and it was great because I never worried. If I ever had a problem, I just pull what I needed from the policies and procedures package and send it to my employee, like whatever paragraph or according to our policies or according to our manual, our policy states this, and I'd send them the paragraph, and I knew it was legal. And always remember integrity. That's Nolan's favorite core value, integrity. You're building trust with your employees through fair practices. Don't treat one employee better than the other. Don't lie. Don't make promises you can't keep. Always keep your employees in the loop. Just use integrity. Are you trying to say something
I
to
was
me?
gonna say, yeah, and don't complain about an employee to another employee.
Yeah, okay. We'll quickly talk about that. One of the things that I train or teach my employees is never, ever complain sideways. Never complain to your equal. You always complain up. If you're complaining to your equal, you will get nowhere. Okay? All you're doing is creating gossip and anger and resentment, and all of a sudden the whole team's like involved in this little thing. If you have a complaint, complain up, complain to your manager needs to complain to the admin needs to complain to the owner. And then the owner says, okay, this is how we're going to fix the problem. And then it comes back down. That system of hierarchy is in place for a reason, and it's to keep the system functioning. And the owners come to me. Yes, Peter's pointing out, yes, there's not a stuff there. And beyond me is my coach. So go there, because I take my problems to my coach.
Absolutely.
And she gives me solutions that I bring down the pipe. And if you want to know who my coach is, her name is Sonia Lydell, and she is amazing. She makes my life easier. She is not a cleaning business coach. She is she's a overcoming overwhelm coach. Impact on customer satisfaction in your bottom line is why it's so important. Your onboarding programs must be in-depth and comprehensive, but not overwhelming. Step by step. So what we suggest and what all of our owners have is some form of online training, some form of video, PDF, and quiz style training, so that you onboard your employees immediately, and before their first day, they should be allowed to at least have the first part of your training portal, which should be onboarding, that tells them what to expect on the first day, what they should wear, what your CRM looks like, how to run it, what will be expected of them. Their tasks will be general cleaning practices. Like for me, when I was doing it myself, it was that there was an actual videos of me doing the cleaning and me telling them what they needed to do in this instance, so that when they get to the first day on the job, they have an idea of what's going to happen. This will set them up for success and make them feel loved. And if they feel loved, they'll love you back. You want to have a structure for your paperwork, not just oh, shoot, I forgot to send this paperwork. I forgot to send that paperwork. No, have it structured. So have a system. As soon as, for our owners in the Freedom Program, what they do is they put them into their CRM, and they immediately message their admin assistant and tell their admin assistant, here's our new employee. The admin assistant immediately opens their file for them, puts them into the training program. In the training program, the very first module says open first important paperwork, and it has links to their tax forms and their payroll onboarding forms. That's the first thing that they have to do. They cannot do anything else. They can't even come to the on-the-job interview unless they've done that. So that's our system, and you should have a system similar to that. And definitely, if you want us to create your system for you, we will. Practical training, you do want to offer practical training and mentorship. Nice to be able to have workshops every now and then, or, you know, what my favorite way to do practical training, because it's not always easy, and these workshops can get expensive. And so if you're just starting out, really they get expensive. I like to have the training portal as like workshops. And what you can do is you can say, by the next staff meeting, I'd like to see all of you redo the bathroom cleaning workshop. And what you can do is tell them that if they do that, they'll get a draw in the grand prize, or they'll get a $20 gift card, or whatever you want. That is so much less expensive than having, and I did this, so I know about this, having 30 people show up. I had an all-day workshop where I had 30 people show up for the 8 hours to go through the workshop with me, and I was there to answer their questions. And oh boy, what a waste of money. I think it cost me $2,700 for the day, and it had absolutely no impact that I could see. Absolutely not. It was a huge waste of money, $2,700 down the drain. I was like, I'll never do that again. Never do that again. Maybe once I'm a huge corporation, I can use this as a tax write-off, maybe. But the online training portal really helps for that. But what I like to do is have, like, if you have a big fun project, have all of your team at that fun project getting to know each other, working together. Instead of saying, I'm only going to put my top people on the thing, put as many of your learning, your, you know, second in line people with some of your top people that they normally don't get to work with, and let them all intermingle and have fun together. Show up with pop or popsicles or ice cream or McDonald's or pizza, whatever you want. Show up and make it a fun event for them. Also, what I used to do, we had a group Facebook page. I would go on once a week for 1 hour, and it would be Q&A with Carrie, find out what the CEO is up to. And I would just go on live in the group, and they would just come into the group, and we'd all just chit chat. They'd get an hour of my time in a group setting. This way I'm not meeting with each of them for an hour. They knew they could come and hang out or not. And the first couple weeks, nobody showed up, and I just get in there and go, oh, here I am all alone. Nobody wants to see me. Oh, well. And I'd laugh and giggle and tell stupid jokes. Like, by the way, the best thing to do is go on ChatGPT and say, give me 10 stupid jokes for my cleaning business technicians. And then if nobody shows up at your live, just sit there and tell jokes. They'll see it later. They'll laugh about it. They'll talk about it. You're still affecting them. If they're talking about you behind your back, let it be good things they're saying. And then they're going to show up next time because they want to be involved. Regular sessions on new cleaning technologies. Now, this is your responsibility. Keep up with the newest technologies and inform your staff. Make sure that you can get them in for skills development. If you're going to be taking on a new project, a large project with floor cleaning stuff, like floor cleaning requirements, send 1 or 2 of your staff, and not always your top people. Your top people won't always be with you forever. Don't send the same 2 people to all of the training. Have many people trained in different areas. So send somebody who's never done floor cleaning and somebody who's pretty good at floor cleaning to a floor cleaning weekend. So the benefits are obvious, right? They're going to make fewer mistakes. It's going to reduce the costs over time. The employees are going to feel more confident. Confidence, knowledge, and confidence are lovers. That's my new thing. That's my saying of the week. Knowledge is a lover of confidence. The more they know, the more confident they are, the less mistakes they make, and the happier they are. So you're going to want to develop an online checklist, onboarding checklist. You're going to partner with suppliers in your area to see if there are any free training sessions you can get, or if they have any videos you can add to your training portal. Create a yearly training calendar. That's what an online portal is. I have a great online portal, by the way. It was a huge investment. I'm still paying it off. It's been 15 months of paying it off. It was something like $25,000. And we offer that to all of our Freedom owners. We create the entire training process for them. we have a template, and then we start out with the template, and then we brand it to them, and we change the procedures to their procedures. It's a work in progress. That's why the Freedom Program is 6 months. It takes 6 months to get it perfect, but actually most owners can start using it within a week. So the reason I'm telling you this is because online training portals are expensive. They really are. And when I was in the cleaning business, I tried so many of them. What would happen is they'd say, oh yeah, the first 10 employees free. You're like, great, awesome, because I don't plan to have more than 10 employees. And then one day you have 12 employees, and now suddenly they want $200 more. And you're like, what? It's only 200, it's only 2 employees. And they're like, well, you've reached the threshold. They're tricking you. They're getting you hooked. They're getting you to put in all these hours and all this time so that when you get to a point where you can't afford it anymore, you're afraid to leave. We'll build the whole thing for you for a price. And then we have a yearly maintenance fee so that we can update the program for you, so that we can make sure that your procedures are all up to date. You have unlimited employees in the program, and we will fix it anytime during the year. If you have upgrades that you want us to do, we will upgrade the program for you. So that, I'll tell you, that yearly price is way less expensive than anything you're going to find online. So if you're looking to build a training portal, you might want to think about, checking us out. I'm not saying you have to use us, but at least find out what we have so you know so you can compare it to what's out there in the market. Implement a feedback system post-training. This is amazing, and this is in the training portal. It's called Discussions. You guys are all experiencing it. If you're in the portal that you're in is the very portal that we use for our cleaning business owners for their employees. And if you are anybody who's been talking in the chat or in the discussions, you've already seen it. Okay, consider an e-learning platform. That's ours. E-learning, internet learning, and the long-term benefit for investing in the future. Skilled and confident team enhances deliverability, and you can build a scalable, sustainable business model. When we're talking about opportunities for the future, once you have a system in place, it is repeatable. We had clients just recently who had, they got a concert hall job. They needed three shifts of 16 people on each shift over 4 days. They needed 6 days to get it done. This was an opportunity, a trial clean. Okay. It was $40,000 for 4 days of work, trial clean. If they did well, they were getting the contract exclusively. What did we do? We got them all the employees they needed. We built them a training program for the concert hall specifically, including video, PDF, quizzes, and in 2 languages. We did it in English and Spanish. We had that ready for them by Friday afternoon so that their new employees had 2 days to be in the portal by Sunday morning when they had to start their job. They got the contract. And on top of that, we're actually working this weekend on some of the improvements we need to make. There were like 3 items on the list that we need to improve before the next concert. Concerts happen about once every 10 days or so. You do the math. How much this system just made these clients. The employee attraction system is repeatable. You can make it go bigger or smaller. You can get 40 employees. Well, we got 46 employees in 6 days. Or you can get 2 employees in 10 days. The training portal, once you build the training, it's there. All you're doing after that is improving and maintaining. So the idea is once you get it made, then for every large client you create a new training. So they now have concert hall training. Concert halls is now their niche. So it's very important to start doing this now while it's easy, okay? It wasn't easy to do the concert hall training. I was up until 4 o'clock every morning, and I was getting up at 6 a.m. every morning for 6 days. My team, I have a team of 16 people. At least 5 of them were working 8 hours a day. We got it done for them. So I'm pretty proud of it. Let's move on. Importance of open communication. You guys understand. I've been harping about it, so I'm not going to harp through this because I've been talking to you so much about it that I just don't want to continue beating it. See what I mean? I kind of go off track, and all of these things exist in my head already. Teamwork activities, organizing non-work related outings and lunches. Please do this. You should do this at least twice a year. Have a team event. Let your team choose what it is. Stop getting out of the idea that you're gonna do what you think they want, and start getting into the idea that you're gonna do what they ask you to do. Okay. So when, like me with the benefits, I thought they wanted medical benefits. I wasted $16,000 and not one person appreciated it. They didn't appreciate it because they're bad people. They didn't appreciate it because they didn't need it. Don't tell them that you're taking them to the lake for a barbecue if you live on the lake and they, or if you live in a tourist area and they can go to the lake every day of the week. Why would you take them to the lake? Ask them what they want to do. Take them bowling. Take them. One time, my staff wanted to, it was really a great program. It was SEAL Chef Night, where you went to one of the local colleges and the Red Seal Chef came in and taught the employees how to cook a certain dish. Then they broke up into different teams and they had a cook-off. It was phenomenal. It was so much fun. So think about things to be done. That was the employees suggested that. There's also scavenger hunts now. There's these scavenger hunts that companies put on in the different towns. The employees love that. Try it. Do what your employees want you to do. It doesn't help me when you sit there and smile at me like that. My husband's sitting across from me. He's laughing at me. You know, he's making faces.
Forever.
The paint night.
Yeah.
Wow, we did a paint night. That was fun. Yeah, we did a paint night in our kitchen when we only had 6 employees. Yeah, that was great. We, back then, well, we gave them wine. I didn't drink, but we gave our employees wine and we got to see another side of them who chose not to keep all her clothes on. She didn't get too bad, but it was getting a little stressful. She needed to let loose, that's all. The power of recognition, acknowledge achievements. I've talked to you guys about this. Make sure always, no matter what, anytime that you have more than one employee in a group, acknowledge one of them. Okay. Oh, am I frozen? Significance is power. Everybody craves significance. So always make sure that you grab an employee and tell them how pretty they are, how smart they are, that you love their shirt, that their hair looks amazing, that they do an amazing job. Don't always make it about work because then it looks cheesy, right? Oh yeah, you did a really great job on that thing last week. Now let's talk about this. No, hey, it's really great to see you. I love that hat. Okay. Recognize your employees and you will boost morale. Are we getting there? Are we getting there? Look for employee feedback. It's not that I want to rush through this, but I promise you guys I keep it as close to 2 hours as I can. And so I don't want to hold you back, but I really want you to have this information. So that's why you hear me say, are we getting there? It's not because I don't want to be here. Always look for employee feedback. This is a really good point in your 3 and 6 month reviews that you are going to have a review that allows their input and makes them feel safe and confident to do that. You do this based on core values. What you do is you keep track of all the times that they've done anything for or against your core values. You use the review as a chance for them to improve. It's not a disciplinary meeting, it's an improvement meeting. In fact, if any of you ever have disciplinary meetings, stop now. Don't ever have another disciplinary meeting ever again in your life. You cannot motivate people by putting them down. You can only motivate people by showing them what's amazing about them. If you have to have a disciplinary meeting, then that means it's time for them to go. You should be constantly motivating them and empowering them to do better and be better. You should be working with them to find solutions to overcome their obstacles. If they can't overcome the obstacle, you should be finding other things they can do. And if you can't find any way that they are able to perform their job, then you have to let them go. No more disciplinary meetings. No letters. Do not ever send a letter. The moment that you send a warning letter, you've lost the employee. You might as well just get rid of them. Like, don't send those letters. I hear it and I see it all the time. And I'm like, what are you doing? Imagine if you got a letter from one of your clients that tells you, if you don't smarten up, you're getting fired. How do you feel? Does it ever feel right again? Don't do that to your staff. They don't have the skills you have. If they were skilled enough to be an employer, they would be an employer. In this world, we have employees and employers. They are employees. They need you to guide them. If they didn't need you to guide them, they would have your job. They would be running their own business. So please don't send those letters ever again. If you need help to find a way to get through to your employees without sending letters, please talk to me. Now that you've been in one of my workshops, we are now friends. Send me a message and say, I'm having problems with my employee. I don't know what to do, but please stop sending those letters. And if you haven't sent a letter, don't start. I've never sent a letter. Never. Never, 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 never. I would never do that to somebody. I've sent good letters. Maybe I should rephrase that. I send letters, but I never send negative letters. Plus, I don't want it. I don't want negativity in writing. Do you know the power of putting something in writing? You put something negative in writing and it is there. It's stuck. They can read it over and over again. They'll just read it over and over again. They're feeling good about themselves and they'll go read your letter. Don't do that. Okay. You're going to address concerns promptly as they happen. Don't let them build up. Just talk to people in the moment. You know, in the first 3 months, I just let my employees know you are just learning my policies and procedures. It's my job to teach you that. So you might hear from me or from my staff quite often as we're helping you find solutions. It doesn't mean we're picking on you. It's that we see the potential in you and we want to help you get to where you're going. Then between 3 and 6 months, they're always learning how the things that they're doing might have affected their bonus. So in the 3 to 6 months, we're motivating them and helping them overcome obstacles to get their full bonus. By 6 months, you're going to have a perfect employee if you do this. As perfect as they can possibly be, because we know nobody is perfect. Woo! We know the benefits of positive company culture. We've been talking about this. It's going to lead to motivation and productivity. It's going to lead to customer satisfaction. It's going to make you money. You can charge more for employees that are motivated. You're going to make money if you figure this out. Summary of chapter 3. We're almost there. It's 7:02. I am on track. All right. Key strategies. You're gonna make sure that you have a strong employer brand. Stop worrying about your brand for your clients. Start worrying about your employer brand and grow from there. Okay, I'm not talking about your logo. If you need to work on your logo, work on your logo. If you need to work on your website, work on your website, but focus on your employee brand. Okay, focus on who you are as an employer and everything else will fall into place. Keyword, focus. You want to have clear job descriptions. You want to have competitive compensation, the average plus 10%. You want ongoing training and a positive culture. And the outcome will be that your workforce will be a high performing team. You will make money. Everybody's making money, by the way, just some aren't making profit, right? You want to make profits. Definition of a strong employer brand. How employees perceive your company based on your mission, visions, and values, not the written word, but the actual actions behind these intentions. What you're doing. Now, I have another owner to use an example, and they're not in the room. So if you're in the room and you're wondering, is it me? You're not. The owner is not in the room. You guys are amazing. One of my favorite owners for employee culture is Christine Grover, who is in the room. She's one of my favorites. She's really got it going on. She really cares about her employees. But what was I going to say? So I have an owner who says one thing and does another, who puts out all of this stuff on Facebook about how amazing her employees are and how amazing her systems and processes are. And then she belittles her employees, treats them badly. She's got a lot to learn. She doesn't even know she's doing it. She's a very new owner. Sometimes very new owners come with some obstacles, right? She's got to learn, but just be careful. Don't pretend to be a good employer. Be a good employer, and you're going to attract employees with the same values as you if you're learning about core values conversations, comprehensive job descriptions. Why do we keep talking about this? How many times do I have to say this in one? I think that maybe my assistant might have recreated a couple slides. We've already talked about compensation. Oh, we're doing the summary. We're just going over what we already talked about.
I was just going to say that. I'm like, yeah, this is the summary.
You know, I am getting older and I'm going to have to get prettier if I want to keep making silly mistakes like this. And I don't know how that's going to work with all these wrinkles that are coming, but I've got to do something. I've got to do something because, whole thing. Oh, it's a good thing you're pretty. You know, that saying. I got to get prettier. Okay. Investing in training and development is something else that we talked about. Don't forget that we talked about making sure that your new hires have a really great integration, that they have a great first day experience. You know, keep your employees' skills sharp and make sure that you're demonstrating the same commitment to their development as they go along. Don't let them down. Don't forget about them. Don't think they're okay. Here's your roadmap for team building. So the first thing that you're going to do, everybody in this room, you can find this in your portal in the last, I think it's the second to last lesson in the first module, day 1, chapter 3. You want to review your mission, vision, and values. So I want you to come back tomorrow with 4 core values. And those of you that are watching later, please don't just leave this workshop and not do it. Sit down and do your core values right away, and they'll be done. And then you can start learning to use them and start implementing them. You can go on YouTube, and I think you can find my core values workshop, which will help you with the core values. Also will help you with the conversations and how to have good core values conversations. Just look me up on YouTube. You can find it somewhere. If you Google me, you're going to find my core values because it's my favorite thing. Did I ever mention that core values is my favorite thing? Because it's my favorite thing. I said it 3 times. Enhance your job descriptions for clarity. Take some time and think about who on your team does what and why. Some of you are just starting out, so it's very easy. There's you and your potential new hire. Develop a structured onboarding program, offer continuous training opportunities, and cultivate a positive work environment. Here is right here, take a screenshot of this if you want. This is your recipe for success. That's the employee attraction system. So there you go. We got through the whole chapter and I'm only 7 minutes behind. And considering I didn't start till 10 after, I am really proud of myself because I was really wondering if I could make myself condense this. In our program, this employee attraction takes, to get it all set up, takes about 3 hours. And then to learn the systems and to learn to go through it, it's a constant learning thing. We learn it as we go and we create solutions as we go. So that's why the master plan is 6 months. You get your employee systems and processes set up immediately. And then you spend 6 months learning core values conversations. It takes 6 months to go through one round because you get your new employee, then you get your 3-month interview, and then you have your 6-month interview. And then after that, you're having interviews every 6 months. So yeah, that's the idea. Now, any questions? I'd love to hear any questions you have or any feedback really about your thoughts.
I have one question, Carrie.
Yes.
So I know that you told us that we have to have core values written down for the next meeting. Is there anything else that we should prepare before we come back for day 2?
Well, we haven't decided on the day 2 chapter yet because we're waiting for the survey to come in. So I actually have no idea what we'll be covering tomorrow. I just want the core value. I want you guys to have the core values, have your 3 to 5. They say no less than 3 and no more than 5. I like 4. Have your 3 to 5, but maybe 4 core values. I'm sure that it will come up more in the modules we're doing because core values come up in every aspect of everything we do. So I really think it was really divine intervention that we did this first. I didn't even have it on my mind. Just do that. It will take you 10 minutes. What I did when I did it the first time, and what I always tell my clients is to sit down and try for 10 or 15 of the negatives, then convert those 10, 15 to positives, then pick the 4 that you really like, and then create the small phrase. So it's going to set out. But what I do want to tell you is just be honest. Don't worry about business, about employees. Don't worry about who you're going to motivate with your core values. Worry about what are the most important to you. Because we can make any core value fit any business model. And what we're going to do really is build your business around your core values. Okay. Thank you. That was a great question. That's the only thing. I just really love to see those 4 core values. You could actually, if you're in our private group, you could post them in the private group. Maybe one thing that would be really great to do to go into the private group and make a little video and talk about your core values. The 4 core values that you had and the reasons. And you know what? Let's have a prize. So for anybody who gets their core values in before the workshop tomorrow, so I've already given you guys the foundations program, free core values and pricing analysis strategy session with me. So that's something that I don't do for free anymore. I used to always do it for free, but now I'm just busy helping other cleaning business owners go. So you actually don't get that strategy session until you join our program. But anybody who goes into accelerate your cleaning business to 7 figures and beyond and does a video presentation of their 4 core values. It can be as short or as big as you want it to be. I just want to know that you have 4 core values. So you can go in there and you can say, my name is Carrie and my core values are do good, be good, do what is required, and work as a team. That's fine for me. Or you can go more in depth, make it a minute or two and tell us about your core values and why they're so important to you. But if you do a live video in accelerate your cleaning business to 7 figures, accelerate your cleaning business growth to 7 figures and beyond, you're getting a free strategy session with me. That sounds fair. I like that. I like that. I want to motivate you guys. I want to motivate you to do it. This will change your life. All right, Charlotte, did you want to say something? I know that you're working, but now I see that you're on camera. I really just want to say hi. Is she trying to talk to us?
I'll ask her to unmute. Let's hear from Charlotte.
Hello,
She's busy. She's got lots going on. Hi, Charlotte. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm at a birthday party.
Oh,
I'm still
good.
listening in though.
Well, thank you so much for being here, even though you've got all of this going on.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us, Charlotte?
Not at this moment.
Yeah, you're otherwise consumed. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. How are you doing, Brandon? How did you find the session?
I found it because I'm always being nosy following you.
I know you're everywhere. I don't consider it nosy. In my mind, it's devoted, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and then I know that you were mentioning in the group about writing your book, and I'm like, wow, shoot, let me know how to get in. Like, soon as you posted that about it, I was already logged
Yep.
in and read through some of the stuff and done, I think, about a chapter.
Yeah, I think you were the first person to even comment, honestly.
Yes.
And yeah, and I really appreciate it. I can see that you are really devoted to growing your business. So I really hope that you get the free 30-day foundations, because that will be the thing that will just
Yeah,
get you going.
I'm working towards it. I've modified my time to be able to do so.
Congratulations. That's what it takes, guys. That's what it takes. Showing up for the things that will catapult you forward. Too many times we think that this one thing isn't as important as it really is. Missing opportunities is what will hold you back. And Brandon, you are so smart to take advantage of this opportunity. The things that you'll learn in this book will help you grow your business to $10,000 a month. It's everything that I did actually to get to $1 million in a year. Everything I did is in there, but there are so many things, like just to talk to somebody, talk it out, find out if you're doing it right. Those things some people need more help with. So that's why I'm here, to help you with these little kind of, what do you say? Side notes, keynotes,
Yeah, synopsis.
synopsis. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. So Christine, how did you feel about today's session?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. Not bad for Saturday night. How's your Saturday night?
I'm really proud of your timing.
Thank you. Very awesome. It's not me.
No, my Saturday was great. We busted it out all day at that new commercial clean I got. So
Yeah. Yeah, you got a new commercial client this week. Yes. I'm so
yes.
proud of you. Peter and I
Thanks.
celebrated for you. We were like high-fiving and we were just so excited. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. It's a great
You're welcome.
opportunity to get my foot in the door in the industry that's going to make me money. So
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the first, right? Like once you break the seal, then there's
Yeah.
no going.
yeah, we're just popping the top right now. And trying to get
Congratulations.
in the neighborhood, in the industrial parks, and keep moving forward, growing.
It's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
didn't really learn anything new here today, did you?
Well, some things, yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, there's always room for growth or new perspectives on things. So I
Mhm.
enjoyed it.
You know what I noticed, like even when I was putting together this book, so many things that I haven't thought about in so long. I was really glad to refresh my brain on the things that, like, I want to be honest, with the Freedom Program, sometimes I forget about the foundational stuff. That's why I'm forcing myself to have that Tuesday foundations meeting, because it's bringing me back to the basics again every once a week. These these foundational systems are so important, because if you don't create the foundation, first of all, when your business might run and get better and bigger, but then one day it will just stop. It will just stop and you'll be confused. The other thing is that at every level, like at about 750,000, you have to redo your systems. You have to redo all of your systems. It's like, I haven't met any owner who for cleaning that didn't have to redo all their systems at 750,000. It's really bad if you barely have systems in place. Like if you don't have a training portal or the SOPs and all of that, it's really hard. But if you already have the systems in place and you have them sort of set up so they can scale, then it's just a matter of just refreshing them. Like just going and saying, okay, well, that's not going to work because now we have 15 people instead of 5, you know? So
Yeah.
when you
Well, and
remember the
that's
foundations.
I came to you in the first place is because I knew I could take this somewhere. I just didn't have the foundations under me. I didn't have the structures and the processes. So now I do, and things are
And
growing.
now that you do, how do you feel like compared to when you first started working with me to now, about your systems and process, actually about your confidence in your business? How do you feel?
Well, I've always been like a perfectionist, and I think you taught me to just get started, like just start somewhere and start building and just jot things down on paper that will help me develop the systems a few months from now when I can actually wrap my head around it. Right. And I think all those things are starting to come together now, and the systems are starting to flow, and yeah, it feels good. I mean, I've changed immensely. I was really scared when I came to you because I was injured and I did not want to leave the industry because I really do love it. And I felt like I built a good company with a good brand and a good culture and a good reputation. And it was all about to crumble because I couldn't scale. And now I'm scaling and I'm not working anymore. I mean, I went to that job today, but that's just because it's the first deep initial clean and I wanted to be there directing my team so that it all went well.
Yeah, and this is your,
I'm off
this
the
is your
floor.
first commercial clean. It's kind of a part of the celebration too, right? Like you're always going to remember this,
right? Yeah. And grow from it. Like this is just planting the seed, right?
Yeah. Did you happen to take any videos or pictures that we could create training for that place?
Yeah, I took some tours, and I'm actually going back tomorrow to do final checks.
Awesome.
And do some touch-ups. We just kind of ran out of time today, but I want to polish it off myself.
Yeah. You know what would really help for your training portal is if you recorded yourself walking through and going, okay, well, you know, this is this room and we need to make sure to do these things, and you know, this is where the garbage is and things like that, so that we can get a good feel for that when we're creating the system for you. What we'll do is we'll have, you know, the guy talking about the procedures, and then we'll have the video of your walkthrough so they can see the actual property, and then we'll have the PDF procedures so that they have that, and then the quiz, all in one little lesson.
Fantastic.
You guys are getting an inside scoop as to what it actually looks like to build out this portal too.
Right.
I mean, this is it. This is how the systems are built. You go in and of course she's there because it's the first time. Like these are the kind of things, the small iterations where business owners really, you know, like I said, you get an inside scoop as to how Carrie works with business owners to make those iterations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I forgot. I honestly I got into work mode there. I forgot that we're still in our meeting.
Yeah, different kind of meeting.
It happens. Well, it's good for people to see, though. This is all learning as well.
That's right. No, it was a great workshop, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Thank you. I can't wait to see what tomorrow will be. Now after today, I'll have to say I was really nervous. Really, really nervous, especially doing it the way I'm doing, where I'm waiting for input to decide what to do. But it's going great. I'm excited for tomorrow too. Yeah. And before we go, Josh, how are you doing? Would you like to say anything, or do you have any input or any questions? Josh is a current client who was away for a little while. Client attraction and starter program, where it's all about getting his systems together to attract more commercial clients. And we're working on a pretty big project right now. I don't want to say unless he'll allow me, and if he's not talking, I can't. All I can say is we're creating an elite info package for Josh to be able to go to the client. The client has 6 properties. It's going to be a pretty big deal. I think it's going to be 3 or 4 hours a day at each property. So that'll mean probably 3 or 4 part-time employees. I can't remember if it's daily or weekly, but we're coming up with a whole info package, the systems. We've already created the procedures so that he can show to them in his consult that he has it all together, because this particular client is having problems hiring cleaning businesses that say they can handle it, but they really can't. So they want Josh to prove it on paper that he's got it all together. So we're creating all that, and we're going to have it ready for his big consult on Friday. It's a really exciting thing. So, but I do believe he was at work and he's not unmuting, so I'll take that as a no. And I'm just going to close it out. I'm just going to say thank you, Nolan and Peter, for being here. I really appreciate the support. And thank you to Christine for being here. I appreciate your support as well as an owner in our program. And Josh, Brandon, thanks for everything. Like, so impressed by your forward momentum and doing. They always say, use the resource you have. If you have more time than money, use your time. And that's what you're doing right now. And I have so much respect for that. And Charlotte, thank you for making this important, even though you had something so much more important. Family is important and birthdays are really important. So thank you, even for just having this on and letting us know that you care and that you're here. You went through a lot today to make sure that you could get into this meeting. And I wanted to tell you how much I appreciate you being here. All right, guys, I'm going to go and have some supper. Take it easy. Thanks again. I really appreciate you.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Night, guys.
Night,
And to
guys.
everyone watching the recording, and everyone who couldn't make it here who's watching the recording, we hope to see you day 2, day 3, day 4. There's plenty more to come. Appreciate you all.
See you later.